No one looked twice at Thomas Grainger when he swept the long hallways of Fort Rainer. Dressed in his plain navy blue janitor uniform, his shoulders slightly hunched from years of quiet labor, Thomas was just the guy who emptied trash bins, mopped up coffee spills, and locked the gym at night. Most people didn't know he was a single father. Even fewer knew about his past. "Morning, Mr. Grainger," Private Ellis greeted politely. Thomas smiled, nodding. "Good morning, son. You got drills today?" "Yes, sir." He always added that, "sir," even though Thomas wasn't military. Ellis had a quiet respect that was rare. Others weren't so kind. Especially Sergeant Major Rex Banner, the decorated war hero who returned to the base 3 weeks ago like a storm. Rex was a legend in the military. Muscular, loud, and proud, his voice echoed louder than any intercom. He'd been deployed in the hardest zones, earned medals, and written a best-selling book. But that didn't make him humble. He'd taken an immediate disliking to Thomas. Double quotes. "Hey, Mop Man," Rex had barked the first time he saw him. "Did they draft janitors now? Or are you here to keep my boots shiny?" Thomas didn't react. Years of quiet suffering taught him that silence was better than a retort that only made Rex angrier. "You too good to talk? I bet you never lasted a day in combat." Thomas gave him a respectful nod and returned to mopping the floor, but word spread. He called the janitor Ghost Dust. Some soldiers chuckled in the mess hall. "Said he's invisible until there's a spill? Does he even speak?" Someone else laughed, and all of this happened as Thomas continued his routines, sweeping the hallways, polishing the memorial wall, picking up discarded meal trays. Back at home, it was different. In a small rented trailer off base, Thomas transformed. His face lit up when his daughter, 10-year-old Emma, ran into his arms after school. "Guess what I did today, Daddy?" She squealed. "You beat your math record again?" he asked with a grin. She gasped. "How'd you know?" "Dad magic," he winked, ruffling her hair. Emma had no idea that her father once commanded an elite covert unit, that he'd retired early after her mother died during childbirth, giving up everything for the baby girl who became his whole world. He didn't need the medals anymore. He just needed her to feel safe and loved. Back at Fort Rainer, the mocking worsened. Rex challenged young recruits to push-ups in the gym, barking orders, pumping ego. One morning, he spotted Thomas wiping a scuffed treadmill. "Hey, Mop Man," Rex grinned. "You know what this is?" He tapped the incline button. "It's for people who move, not sweep." Thomas gave a tired smile. "Yes, Sergeant Major." Rex leaned closer. "Bet I can lift double your weight, even with one arm." "I'm sure you can." Rex's pride was wounded by the calmness. He needed an audience. He needed dominance. "You know what? Let's make it fun." Base-wide fitness challenge. Everyone's invited, even the janitor. The recruits chuckled nervously. "You want me to join?" Thomas asked quietly. "If you don't," Rex sneered, "everyone will know the janitor's just scared." Emma was waiting outside in the car that day when he came out. She saw the tiredness in his eyes. "Daddy? Yeah, sweetheart?" "You okay?" He looked at her reflection in the mirror, the same eyes as her mom. He smiled. "I might need to show some folks that dads can still run. Are you gonna race?" "Not just race." He chuckled softly. "They want a full challenge." She grinned. "You'll win." The base gym buzzed with excitement the next day. Posters had been slapped on walls. War hero versus janitor, base challenge at 0600. Hours young recruits gathered around the weight benches and obstacle course lines, whispering bets. Rex Banner strutted in like a showman, flanked by 2 junior officers. "You all ready to see a legend work?" Cheering followed. Then Thomas entered. Same uniform, same calm expression. Only this time, he tied a gray bandana around his head. His sleeves were rolled up. A few veterans glanced at the old tattoo on his forearm. "Wait, that emblem... No way, that's Delta Black. You sure?" "Only 8 people ever had that unit stamp." But the crowd was too loud. They didn't hear it. The event began. Challenge 1. Deadlifts. Rex roared as he lifted 315 pounds easily. Crowd cheered. Thomas walked up calmly, adjusted his grip, and lifted 365. No roar. Just silence. Then he stepped back. The whispers started. Challenge 2. Obstacle Rune. Rex dove through tires, crawled through barbed tunnels, and slapped the finish line at 2 minutes, 19 seconds. Thomas completed it 1 minute, 47 seconds, effortlessly. Now, murmurs became gasps. Even Rex looked unsettled. Challenge 3. Combat simulation spar. You sure? Rex asked, flexing. Don't want to pull a mop string? Thomas merely smiled. In 14 seconds, Rex was disarmed, flipped, and flat on his back. The crowd went silent. Captain. Myers stepped forward, wide-eyed. Where did you train? Thomas wiped sweat from his brow. Here and there. Myers squinted. Are you Colonel Thomas Granger, former Delta Black Commander? Gasps rippled through the gym. Someone dropped their water bottle. Rex sat up, stunned. You're that Ghost Commander? Thomas offered him a hand. Retired. Now I just clean up. Rex shook his head, shame filling his eyes. I mocked you. Thomas nodded. You did, but it's okay. Not everyone sees what's under the surface. Later that evening, Rex approached Thomas outside the mess hall. No cameras, no crowd. Just 2 men? I read your file, Rex said softly. I didn't know. You weren't supposed to. You saved 36 soldiers in Al Jazeera alone, Thomas sighed. A long time ago. Why mop floors now? Thomas looked at the setting sun. Because I made a promise to my wife to raise our daughter in peace. She's 10 now, and I'll trade every medal I've got just to make her breakfast every morning. Rex was silent. The next day, every soldier stood when Thomas walked through the hallway. They saluted him, even Rex. Good morning, sir. Thomas simply nodded, gripping Emma's hand on family day. To her, he was just daddy, but to Fort Rainer, he had become a legend again. Not because he fought, but because he stayed humble.